We are now beginning the intro as well as segment A of the Non-Experts podcast.
What was that voice?
I don't know. We are now beginning and
Step right up.
Skibbity bop boop.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go!
I'm Romero.
And I'm Chris.
The world we live in is weird, and you're liable to get lost without someone to guide you through it.
Unfortunately, we aren't those people. Join us each episode as we share the strange, bizarre, and downright unnecessary in an attempt to better understand the world around us.
And say whatever you want along the way.
Because this is the Non-Experts Podcast.
Welcome to a new installment of the Non-Experts Podcast.
See.
We are your favorite hosting tandem, C Boogie and Romero. How's it going, Chris?
Hi, it's going good.
Yeah. Good.
This weather is absolutely obnoxious, and I was not ready for it at all.
Single digits is awful.
Mhm.
It's just not fun. It is ridiculously cold. You step outside and you're like, eh.
Yeah, you immediately are like, and I hate the feeling of like when you turn you turn your car on and you're
Yeah.
like, is this gonna start?
It's like, come on, please. That wind is out there like cutting like Uma Thurman. It's ridiculous. It's cold as hell.
It
outside.
is, yeah.
Other than that, though, yeah.
You're like, oh, besides what? Oh well, no.
That's about all I got going.
Don't want to go that far.
That's good, though. That's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You ready for some more exciting news you can't use?
I think so.
It's good.
I think when I was kind of typing up the notes for this one, I'm like, I think this will be a good one.
Let's hope so.
I think this will be a good one.
Also, notice we got some new set pieces.
Yes.
If you can see this, tweet us.
Which you have no excuse to not see it now because we just pointed it out to you.
Yeah, it's there. It's there. Also, my newest set piece. I'm big on hydration these days, so if you'll just give me a moment here.
There's a subreddit called Hydro Homies. That it's literally just people who like promote drinking water. So you are now a hydro homie.
Yes. I think the name of this episode should be Hydro Homie.
Hydro homie.
I'm going to add that to my bio.
Hydro homie.
Yeah.
Please do.
Hydro Homie, podcast extraordinaire, village idiot,
Village idiot. Yeah.
depressed. Yeah, so anyway. All right. Wow. From your favorite Hydro Homies, we started off on a good note.
Yes.
Now we got to get, of course, to the sad stuff.
Unfortunately.
It seems like our podcast is not good for the general well-being of the nation because every day, the day after we record,
I know.
someone dies.
Yeah. What's that about?
It's the most horrible coincidence.
Yeah.
Of course, we missed out on talking about Screech, Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
At this point, it's been a little bit, but we did miss it a week.
Mm-hmm. What's interesting is because I was wondering whether or not he had appeared on like the new like reboot that we talked about. He hadn't, for a number of reasons. I think. First of all, he wrote a book about shooting the show that did not paint it in a very nice light. But what's funny about that is that later on, when he was like getting a lot of like criticism for it, he was like, "Oh, it was basically ghost written, and I just told somebody like a bunch of stories, and then they kind of ran with it." And then he's had a really troubled life, unfortunately. Yeah. Especially after Saved by the Bell. There's been bankruptcy. There's been multiple arrests. He's been convicted of stuff. Nothing too crazy, but you know, it still kind of haunts you for the rest of your life. And unfortunately, it was kind of an early death too.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't
that old.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But I mean, worth mentioning because he played a big role on a big TV show and was a part of a lot of people's childhoods. Yeah.
And that's got to be weird for his castmates and like crewmates. Like we're 40-something, you know, and we kind of grew up together to a degree.
Right.
So for somebody to unexpectedly pass away, like
I'm curious because I haven't watched the reboot and I don't care to, but I wonder what their explanation for Screech not being there was. You know what I mean? Because for the most part, I believe everybody else was there, at least in either as a like a starring role or like a guest
Right.
recurring role. So I don't know if they ever explained. But anyway.
Who knows? Maybe they went super like edgy with it, and they were just like, he's in jail.
Right.
Imagine they were like, yeah, Screech died, and then like after the show, they're like, oh
Yeah,
my god,
that'd be
that
rough.
was horrible. I don't know. They always find weird ways to write those people out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like the reboot of Roseanne, like she was there for like the first season, and then the second season, oh well, she's dead now, and it's not called Roseanne anymore. But it wasn't because Roseanne died; it's just because she was being a dummy on social media.
That is kind of funny though. Like
Well,
right
yeah.
after they announced that reboot, and then they started putting it out, they're like, oh wait a minute, Roseanne, we got to get you out of here, man.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So back to the. We have this horrible ability to
know.
make things that shouldn't be funny
Mm-hmm.
somehow spin out into something funny. Also, Christopher Plummer, The Sound of Music.
Right.
That's where most people might recognize him.
Mm-hmm.
It's just every week. So
Yeah.
we are recording Sunday, February 14th, and we shall see Monday, February 15th, who dies. Because someone always dies the day after we record.
Yeah.
It never fails.
Yeah. Maybe we're
Fingers
just
crossed.
a bad omen.
Yeah, right? 2020 is his kid is going crazy this year. It's not starting off very well.
So on this podcast, we talk a lot about movies, especially like the upcoming, and the stuff that's in production, and
Yeah.
we have opinions. We have a whole segment dedicated to it, as a matter of fact. But this one just I didn't want to use it for Who Asked for This, because it's not really a Who Asked for This. It's just more kind of like a here's a movie that's coming out, I guess.
Yeah.
But our favorite character actor, Nicolas Cage, is going to be.
I'm sorry.
That's all I think of is people say Nicolas Cage. No, not the bees.
I think of that.
Do we have that?
You know the meme?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And you have to do it. Bees. Oh, they don't have it. Oh, well. All right. Anyway, he's going to be starring in a new movie that the plot seems a little familiar, and I'll see if you can recognize it, but
Okay.
he will be playing a man fighting his way out of a possessed Chuck E. Cheese-style restaurant in a horror comedy called Willy's Wonderland, where he plays a taciturn, no-named stranger who gets stuck in a small Nevada town when the locals sneakily wreck his car. To cover the costs, he has to take a job cleaning an abandoned family pizza place. While polishing up the old arcade games and playing lots of pinball, he learns that the animatronic entertainers have been possessed by murderous demons.
It's Friday Night at Freddy's.
That's a literally.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Five Nights at Freddy's.
Five Nights, not Friday Nights. What the hell? Yeah.
Friday Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, yeah. What's up, demons? It's your boy. You guys ready to party or what?
Wow. But yeah, that's literally what Five Nights at Freddy's is
Yeah.
basically. Although it's not a janitor, it's just like a night security guard. But that seems just like, the movie Nosferatu.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally like a silent movie from the 1920s that was like an adaptation of Dracula. But in order for them to be like, oh, it's not Dracula, they changed like names and locations. That's what this seems like. Oh well, he's not a night security guard.
Whoa.
He's a janitor.
Huh?
And it's not Freddy. It's
Teddy.
it's Willy. It's Willy's Wonderland. So
It's not quite the same.
no, it literally is the same.
Did you ever play Five Nights at Freddy's?
I played it just because a lot of people were playing it. And here's the thing.
Was it even scary?
Well, I'll get into it. Horror movies. I can watch horror movies fine. Like maybe I'll be scared. I know you can't, but like they could be scary and I could be scared, but like I can't do anything about it. You know what I mean? I just have to sit there and watch it. Versus playing this game, because you like can control stuff or whatever, it is like for me 10 times scarier. I'm not even joking. Like even like the Slender game, like people are like, oh, that's not
God,
scary.
No,
or whatever.
Slender Man is scary.
It scared me when I played it, and Five Nights at Freddy's was the same thing. Like it scared me, and I think it's just because you have no idea. Like you know what's going to happen, but it's like it's just arbitrary.
When it's you doing it, like. For Slender Man, it's the fact like you have on your headphones, and the Dorito crunch of the grass, like it's just so, and you're like, oh god, and then your screen starts going crazy. You're like, I don't know where he is. Like it's whenever you're playing something like that, it's much different than just sitting there watching it because you're not involved. You're just You know what I'm saying? You're like on the bus, but you're not the one driving. When you're playing the games, it's like...
You are driving the bus. There's a bomb strapped underneath.
Yeah.
You are Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock trying to speed your way down the street.
All of the odds are there.
Yeah. But it really just seemed like just kind of like a shameless Five Nights at Freddy's ripoff, which it's funny because there's another movie that I remember seeing. I think it's on Hulu, but it's like literally a 5-minute short film called The Hug. And it's a similar premise, but it's about this kid he's like having his birthday party at like a pizza, place, and they have like these animatronic whatever, and he goes up to one of them and gives it a hug, and it's like oh, I love you, whatever, and the animatronic like literally like starts turning evil, like his eyes like roll back in the back of his head. It's real creepy. Like, and it's funny because people were commenting about it, and they're like, "That's not scary at all." I'm like, "Are we watching the same movie?"
Yeah,
that was creepy as you know what, and it scared the crap. But like, okay, this premise is been used.
Yeah, it's not
new thing, right? And I think they're banking on the fact that it's gonna. I don't think it's gonna be like a scary movie. I think it's gonna be like like a horror comedy, because it's Nicolas Cage. They're banking on him being goofy and silly. And almost like Shaun of the Dead, almost like that, what I mean, where it's like the production value is really good and it's like bloody, scary, whatever, but it's a so I don't know, I don't think I'll see it. I've kind of given up on Nicolas Cage a little bit after the Sorcerer's Apprentice. I was like, no, we're done.
If we don't get Nicolas Cage as Superman like we could have years ago, I don't want it.
I don't want it.
Or there are some people that are like campaigning heavy for him to return as Ghost Rider, like in the canon.
Who?
Yeah, I don't.
Who? Those movies were terrible. Although maybe it's like a Star Wars situation where people thought the prequels were terrible and now they love them. I mean, I don't love the Ghost Rider.
I remember growing up and people weren't really a big fan of them. Like,
of the
I feel
Star
like people
Wars?
used to talk bad about the prequels.
Yeah.
And I think now that we have, I guess they can't. What's the new trilogy? What would be the proper term for that? Because they're not the sequels.
What the new trilogy?
Well, I guess they would be the sequels.
Yeah, it's a sequel trilogy
because the
Prequels,
original is
the
just
originals.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, now that we have the sequel trilogy, everybody's like, you know what? In hindsight, these were pretty good films.
Right. Well, and I think, and we're getting a whole new topic of the discussion, but the prequels, I think at the time people were frustrated because the CGI looked terrible and the acting was not very good and that kind of stuff. Whereas it's been years since they've come out, so we can kind of look back and be like, maybe they weren't that bad.
For the time period.
Right, exactly. And, also just George Lucas should not have written those movies. He should not have written them. He can't write very good at all. That dialogue is awful.
I have the high ground.
Not even that, just the whole
Wars,
Padme and Anakin dialogue is just have you ever been in love, George Lucas?
No.
I don't think you have, based on this dialogue.
Well, we both saw the short film, in that writing for electronic media class. He's been in love. He was in love with that girl on campus, and that's what inspired him to write these things.
Right, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, this took a tailspin.
Yeah. Anyway, Nicolas Cage, janitor, possessed, Chuck E. Cheese. Yeah. There's no release date, but there is a trailer, so,
Ooh, we should watch it. Well, we're going to go do that and throw up a musical segue, and we'll be right back. So, Chris, by now, I'm sure you've probably heard of it. Well, first of all, let me just ask you this, and maybe this will kind of guide you on into where I'm going here.
Oh, boy.
say you've broken something in the house, right? Mm-hmm. Now it's not breakable beyond repair. It's just like, there's the crack in something or 2 pieces fell apart. You're like, okay, I can fix this. I don't need to throw it out. What do you typically think to use to repair that?
I think I know where you're going with this. I would say super glue or maybe a Gorilla Glue.
Yes, yes. You got it. So let's just get on into it. By now. Oh, hell no. Survey says. Okay, I'm sorry if you're listening to this. There's a comedian, Godfrey, who did a one hell of a Steve Harvey impression, and it's probably one of the funniest things ever for me. and the two of us have been dying at it for weeks now. So focusing back on Gorilla Glue.
Yes.
Oh, Gorilla Glue. Okay, so we're just gonna get right into it.
Yeah.
Gorilla Glue Girl is what she's being called.
Oh my God.
First of all, is a grown woman.
Right.
This is a 40-year-old woman.
Right.
AKA too old to not know better.
I was literally going to say, literally, old enough to know the difference.
You know better. Tessica Brown is her name. She's a 40-year-old Louisiana woman. Mm. Her hair had been stuck solid for a month after she used super glue as a hairspray substitute. Now, there's hard to make excuses for these type of people.
Right.
Okay, so the only thing I can think of, right, there is a hair product. It's called Gorilla Snot.
Gorilla Snot. Mm-hmm.
Moco de Gorilla is also on the label. I know about it because I have a younger cousin who's Blasian. Most people assume he is Mexican. Mm-hmm. We went in a Spanish store, and they had it there. And, yeah, I mean, the stereotypical look that you expect when you go in a Mexican restaurant, right?
Yeah.
It's all the guys have their, little gelled up, you know what I'm saying? I guess that's why they sold it in this Spanish store.
Right.
Anyway, so I'm familiar with Gorilla Glue, Gorilla Snot, I should say. So I've seen it before. It's a pretty good gel. It'll keep things, So I would like to assume maybe, in my mind, you went into Walmart, right? You're like, yeah, I'm looking for Gorilla Snot. And Walmart employees typically don't know what they're talking about.
Ever.
So this guy was like, Gorilla Snot. Yeah, Gorilla Snot. It's like a gel. It'll keep things stuck to laid down. Oh, okay. Yeah. And he took her over to Gorilla Glue. Now, Miss Brown, clearly not being the brightest, because I would hate to think you did this on purpose. You're too old to be going viral intentionally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you just rolled with it. The Walmart employee told me this. Okay, maybe this is what people are actually referring to. You can use this for hairspray or gel or whatever. So she tried it. Then her hair was stuck, laid for a month.
Yeah.
And she was got on camera rubbing soap through it and everything. It's just nothing, to no avail.
Yeah.
I had to go get that surgically fixed.
Super glue does.
Yeah. It's kind of the point. Now, here's my only thing, and that's why I say it's hard to make an excuse for her.
Yeah.
You're 40.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what Gorilla Glue is?
Right. Not only that, but your first clue would have been, I'm not in the beauty or hair aisle. This is the hardware, 3M command strip aisle.
And then even if you're thinking wow, maybe this is what people are using, why don't you just double check that real quick before you commit?
The whole wealth of the universe lives in your pocket. You could have very easily...
Let me just double check real quick. No, this definitely does say Gorilla Snot, sir. This isn't...
Right. But it's funny you say that, though, because, I'm that type of person where it's I will never ask an employee for help.
No.
I don't care if they're no, we want you to ask for help. I'm always I'll just find it on my phone and then I'll fend for myself.
First of all, Chris...
Yeah.
That's part of being a man, okay?
Not asking for directions.
I'm not asking you for directions, instructions.
Right.
I'm not asking you how or where. I'm going to figure it out, and if I don't, I'm walking out of the store.
I didn't want it that bad anyway.
I'm not asking you for help. Actually, funny story. I think this was our sophomore year in college. I went to Walmart with one of my friends, right? And it was late. You know, the Walmart out by the school is real. It's 24 hours. Well, at least it was pre-COVID. So it was real late. It was probably like closer to midnight or something. And I forget what he's looking for. So my friend asks one of the employees, you know, hey, where can I find an ironing board? Look for it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised.
Okay.
Like, Walmart after 12 is like...
That's your job, bro. Like, why are you so angry? And we just looked at each other. We were like... in my mind, I heard the SpongeBob. I don't know what to do with this information.
Every time you blink.
Right? Like, you could have just told me what aisle to look in. So, yeah, that was her first mistake, asking an employee. She had to get this, like, surgically removed.
Yeah, like
they had to find an anti-adhesive.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I know your hair is screaming to be freed from the clutches of this Gorilla Glue.
Not only that, but, like, there's no saving it. Like, you're just going to have to start over. You know what I mean? Like, you
cut it off.
Right. When I think that was one of the problems. He couldn't, you know, get anything through it. But it's like, at that point, like, don't think about saving your hair. Just... it's all gonna have to go.
Just rock the Professor X look at home, and then just invest in plenty of good wigs, hats.
Right. Yeah.
You know, even
it happens.
They're not really turbans, but you know, people will call them turbans. A little cute hair tie. Like, just invest in those because you're bald. It's over for you. But also, if I just haven't emphasized this enough, and I want you to pull this in too. You're 40.
Yeah.
You're 40 years old.
Yeah.
You are too old to be that stupid. Gorilla Glue? Gorilla Glue.
But there's like a bunch of different types of Gorilla Glue too, so I wonder like which one.
How did you decide that's the one?
There's like wood glue, there's like a super glue.
I think I just want the spray one I can just, you know. Because if I use then I'll just spray it. But then there were people making all of these jokes about it. And, like, of course, you'd like to think they're just jokes to kind of capitalize off of it. Somebody super gluing a cup to their lip. Like, and, you know, somebody trying to perm their pubic hair. And she was like, the doctor was like, why? I'm like, no, there's no way you really did that. You can't be that stupid. No. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
So now all these people are like, you know, I used Gorilla Glue to do a wax. Don't do it. Da-da. It's like some things, like, I don't know. I know this is all fun and games for a lot of people, but the fact that there are really people out here that clearly, like Tessica Brown, that are using these things for the opposite of their intended purpose.
Yeah.
Some things shouldn't have to be explicitly stated. Like the lawsuit we talked about in our Mass Comm law class about the hot coffee.
Yeah.
Like, you should assume that coffee's probably going to be hot. Should it immediately, like, scold the hell out of you? Probably not.
Right.
But it's hot coffee. So, okay, fine. It wasn't explicitly stated. Contents may burn you, idiot. Be careful. But, like, Gorilla Glue shouldn't have to be like, hey,
don't put this in your hair.
Don't put it in your hair. Although we say don't ingest it, don't get it in your eyes.
You know what, though? I almost guarantee
we don't say put it on, you know.
I almost guarantee you that it already says that. But, like, you know, nobody...
Do not put this in hair, face, or eyes.
Right. Like nobody reads terms and conditions. So, I mean, I guarantee you it's already in there. But, like, you know, she's screwed. Like, you can't sue Gorilla Glue now because they're covered, you know. You have to think of everything these days. You can't just assume that people are going to, you know what to do with this. You have to be like, okay, don't do this. And this, you know, list everything off.
Right.
I mean, I do feel bad for her. But at the same time, I don't because... Again, Gorilla Glue in your hair. No.
I just don't understand how you got to that point.
Yeah.
But she apparently raised $24,000.
Wow. Well.
That's $24,000 more than I would have ever thrown her way.
That's also $24,000 more than I would have ever gotten if I had done something legit. You know what I mean? Like if I broke my ankle or something and I needed a surgery.
Guys, can you please here's $20, chump.
I would get like 2. Here you go.
Yeah, go to Walgreens, find medical tape, tie it around your ankle and your foot, and walk lightly.
Right. Yeah.
I can't believe that.
Just let it heal.
And again, just let me see. Let me see. I want to see if there's...
We don't utilize this enough.
No, there's nothing probably on there. I was looking for there's this comedian Teddy Ray, and there was some skit, and he was like, "You're 36." That's what I was hoping to find. But it's just it's disappointing that you would be that.
You're 36.
Oh, dang it. Whatever.
Yeah.
The meme board is failing me now. There's also a clip of Offset of the Migos. He's like, "Grown man, end of the day. Grown man." That's how I feel about this.
Yeah.
Grown woman. Why did you do this? Thanks to the people that donated to kind of help her with that, though. I'm sure there were a lot of medical expenses involved. I would have taxed the hell out of you because why'd you do this? So I'm going to make sure you spend a lot of money for this. But yeah, it's done now. She got it surgically removed. Yeah. So it's back to normal life. Plenty of head coverings and wigs. I just wonder how her hair is going to grow back.
Yeah, I kind of thought about that.
Or like if it'll, like how would that have affected the follicles on a deeper level?
Yeah, I don't know.
This is a saga we plan to continue. So this month so far, or this year, for the meme board, January we have the insurrection.
Yep.
February we have Gorilla Glue. We're off to a good start.
Yeah.
Chris, shopping in a panoramic can be very stressful.
It's like the worst thing.
For whatever reason, people still crowd the grocery store as if there isn't a tomorrow. And you just hate dealing with it. Like you don't want to get to the store and have to deal with this.
Yeah.
Or if you shop at Walmart, which you probably, a lot of people do, the produce and everything is relatively it's fairly priced.
Yeah.
But of course, 9 times out of 10, all of the self-checkouts are either full or they're closed. And then there's only 3 normal cashiers.
Right.
And it's lanes 1, 17, and 8. Just somewhere in the middle, they're all spaced out.
Yeah.
So a good fix to that.
Yes.
Just get your groceries delivered.
Yes.
Don't even have to worry about dealing with the store.
You can sit at home.
You know who can help you fix that?
I have a feeling you're going to tell me.
Instacart. Instacart can help you fix that. They give you unlimited grocery delivery for one low monthly rate.
I mean, we talked about it before, but delivery is usually terrible.
Yeah.
And the fees and everything like that. So I mean, but
just one little low monthly rate. That's not bad at all.
No, they will deliver it right to your door, and could be in as little as 1 hour. So if you're thinking about cooking, tacos, and you forgot ground beef or something, they can have it delivered to you, and you don't have to change your dinner plans.
Not at all. And you can also look around multiple stores, see some deals that you got going on locally, and just ways to help you save money while you're trying to find your perfect grocer to provide these.
and everything is always handpicked by the shopper, so they're, I would assume, intelligent enough to know okay, they probably don't want this real overripe avocado versus this one. So. Yeah.
But also, really the good thing about it, and the reason we're talking about it, is you, the listeners of the Non-Experts podcast, you can get a free delivery on your first order of over $35.
And it does not take much time to get $35.
Not at all.
No, especially when it comes to groceries.
Yeah, you can rack that up really quick. All you really got to do is follow that link. Where can they find that link, my friend?
In the show notes.
Yes, sir.
That will not only let Instacart know that we sent you, but it will also help us support us on the show and help keep these episodes free, because we don't want to have to charge.
We don't.
No.
I like free content.
Me too.
But what I will say, if there's nothing else you take from this, always remember, Instacart. Never step foot in a grocery again.
Wow, this really has been the season of the revival of Bomb of the Week.
Yeah, it really took a back seat last season.
Yeah. And who asked for... You know what, though? I think because 2020 was so crazy with who asked for this, that it really... Nothing seems that crazy anymore. So go ahead and hit me with the... That's the one that...
I like, with the lovely advent of this green screen, perhaps to start this segment, we just need, with that wide angle, we need one good nuke drop.
There you go.
One more time for the people.
Oh, wow.
Huh?
We're going to die soon. So bomb of the week, this one I have zero tolerance for these kind of people. And unfortunately, like, I know there's going to be people who are like, what? Well, what's the matter with that? But we'll get into it. So a Tennessee man, it's not Florida. It's a Tennessee man. Yeah. A Tennessee man leaves $5 million to his dog in his will. His dog. That's what I mean. I have zero tolerance for people who leave money to pets. Like, I get that you love your pets, and I get that, they're part of the family or whatever. What is a dog going to do with money?
I'm just going to leave it. I'm curious, but I'm going to leave
it. Okay, go for it. It's fine.
That's supposed to be a confused scream, but that's just my internal rage for knowing $5 million was given to a dog.
It gets better when you read the story, and yeah. So, all right. Tennessee businessman Bill Doris unfortunately passed away, but left $5 million to his 8-year-old border collie, Lulu. Mm-hmm. Doris's friend Martha had been watching Lulu for him for several years by the time he passed. So it wasn't even like he was living with the dog. His friend was anyway. So according to this report, Doris frequently traveled and wanted someone to care for the dog while he was away. And then Burton, his friend, said, I don't really know what to think about it. He just really loved the dog. Lulu is a, quote, good girl, and the $5 million is going to be put into a trust to provide for Lulu's care, and that the dog should remain with Burton, and that Burton has been reimbursed for normal monthly expenses as approved by the conservator managing the trust. You're never going to spend $5 million caring for a dog in its entire life.
Yeah.
What does a dog need? Food,
water, the occasional haircut.
The free stuff that comes out of my sink.
Yeah.
Maybe, a leash and whatever, but that is never going to amount to $5 million.
Yeah, leashes aren't something you.
And the dog's already 8 years old. It's got a good, 6-8 years left. God. I'm sorry, but
So let's just be real here. As an adult, as a human, there's. Mm-hmm. I couldn't even think of ways if I were to have a son tomorrow.
Yeah.
In the course of his life, that $5 million is the absolute figure needed to take care of him.
I couldn't. I wouldn't even spend $5 million in the rest of the time that I have left.
I think $1 million probably could get you through a good chunk of your life. Just $1 million.
Yeah. I don't need that much.
And we have many things bills, cars,
yeah,
housing, Mm-hmm. So I can't even fathom that for a dog.
And it says, just because Lulu the dog is now a millionaire, that doesn't mean that Burton will be buying lavish gifts or any other. Well, then the money's going to go to waste. You know what I mean?
What is it here for?
It's going to sit there and never be used.
I wonder, does Burton have kids?
Apparently not. If he did, I would be extremely angry that he left $5 million.
If I'm his kid, respectfully, I'm going to beat you up. I know this isn't your fault. You're just the dog sitter. Mm-hmm. I'm going to beat you. And then, what's in place if that dog dies?
Well, that's what I mean. What happens?
Not if, when.
Well, yeah. The bank's just gonna get the money and be like,
Exactly.
Good for us.
I have 1,000,001 pictures of me on FaceTime. When I worked at the bank, I was in charge of the vault for several months, and I would be holding big fat wads of $10,000 in my hand, or holding all the bundles of money out. Mm-hmm. Or I'd take pictures and say, "They in a pandemic, we in a bandemic." That's gonna be the bank when this dog dies.
Yeah. Well, I have a picture of the dog, and I want to show you the picture of this dog.
God, it's another ugly dog. I know
It's not another. Well,
that other dog was hideous, and you guys had a grandma out at midnight. That dog was ugly. Just let it be gone.
I'm kind of mad because, long story short, we had to record that a couple times because some of our equipment was not working. But there was a whole moment that we didn't get where we were dying laughing because this dog is so ugly. And we're
hideous.
Really?
And you remember my face when you showed it to me. I was like, well, that's probably a pretty good...
No. So I want you to see if this dog is worth $5 million. Oh, jeez. Okay, well, we're gonna watch it on my. No. We're just gonna look at it over here. It's not a bad looking dog.
It's kind of cute.
Yeah.
$5 million.
But it's not worth.
Okay, honestly, I would get it. Like if I had a show dog.
Yeah.
Like this dog is Purina sponsored.
Right.
Like,
well, because that dog's a moneymaker. You know what I mean?
This is a moneymaker.
Yeah.
Even still, it's weird to leave money to a dog, but like, if there was some type of value to this dog, cool. You know, you're taking care of my dog. This dog is gonna win you thousands of dollars in prize money and endorsements, whatever. That's a meme. But it's just why leave money to a dog?
Yeah. And people, like I said, people do this. I don't want to say all the time, but there have been other cases. You know, people leaving it to a cat or a bird, or there are other, like a snake or whatever. Like, why?
Off the top of your head, what would you even do with $5 million? Like, just 3 or 4 things that you can think of right now you would immediately take care of.
Number 1, student loans.
There we go.
Did I say number 2? Is that number 1?
That's number 1.
Number 1. Number 2, maybe a car, maybe a nice car.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Number 3, a nicer place to live. It doesn't even need to be extravagant. Like, I would take something, mediocre.
Yeah.
That is better than where I'm living now. And that's really all I need. And that's probably not even close to $1 million.
I haven't even scratched the surface.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, after buying a house you're looking at maybe baseline $100,000, depending on how nice you want to go. Maybe up to
depending
2 or
on where
3.
you live too. Like, I mean, around here, 100,000 is pretty normal. Whereas, like on the coast, like it's more like 600.
So if we're gonna stay in the Midwest,
yeah,
at best we're probably looking at 100,000 to 200,000 to 300,000. So we'll just say 300,000 for a house.
Yeah.
Depending on how nice of a car you want to get, let's just cap it out at $50,000.
Yeah.
So we're at 350.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of your student loans. I know I've got about 30 out there. It all depends on. So let's just add another 30. We'll just round it up. We're at like $400,000 right now.
Yeah. Not even $500,000.
And I just got a house, a car, and I'm done with loans. So I can't even fathom what $5 million gets you, especially as a dog.
Yeah. The dog doesn't
you can
even
have
know what
every
money
type of bone you want.
Any treat. They're all 50 cents.
How would you like some of this meat? I have venison.
Right.
I have beef. I have pork. The dog doesn't care.
Right.
Feed me and scratch my stomach.
I have this filet mignon that cost me like $25.
Have you ever had dog caviar? Like, I don't. What is this dog? This dog eating lobster every night? I don't understand what expenses this covers. And it pisses me off.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is not like, a slam to people who love their dogs. People
don't be stupid.
Right. I mean, I love Louie, my cat, but I'm not going to leave him money. What is he going to do with money?
Scratch your door. Oh, no, here we go. This is how I feel about you guys.
You stupid.
Oh, and going back to that last segment about Gorilla Glue Lady.
You stupid.
I love like the delay, like the anticipation, like when you hit the button and we're waiting. Ah, there it is.
You stupid. 5 seconds later. No, that's honestly just ridiculous. It's stupid.
Yeah. I mean, poor Bill Doris, but don't believe in money to your dog.
I don't even want to talk about it. I'm poor. That dog has more money I'll ever sniff. Musical segue.
All right, Florida Man is at it again.
It's always something.
Yeah, with his shenanigans down south. So that sounded kind of. Never mind. We'll just gloss over that. Headline reads here: Florida man with quote "Only God can judge me" tattoo is wanted for stealing an engagement ring from girlfriend to propose to another woman.
Nice.
God's not the only one that's going to be judging you because
both of your fiancés probably are too.
Right. Yeah. So a man with a tattoo that reads, "Only God can judge me" on his left arm is wanted for stealing an engagement ring and wedding band from his girlfriend to propose to another woman, according to deputies. So Joseph Davis, 48, again, old enough to know better, used fake names Joe Brown and Marcus Brown on the dating app OkCupid when he met both women in 2015, 2016. So this isn't like a recent relationship. This is like a long con. Investigators said that his girlfriend in Orange County discovered that was not English. Discovered in Orange County. It's not even county. Orange City. I can't read. Orange City discovered her boyfriend was actually engaged to another woman in Orlando. She told the deputies that when she looked up the other woman on Facebook, she realized she was wearing a wedding band and engagement ring that was identical to her own from a prior marriage. So it wasn't even like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
When the woman checked her jewelry box, deputies said that she noticed that both rings, as well as several other jewelry pieces, were missing. Deputies then said that the woman contacted her boyfriend's fiance and got some of her belongings back. I wonder how that conversation went.
Hey, you know that ring on your finger? I got the documentation to prove that's actually mine from a prior marriage, and he stole that from me. I'm also his fiance, by the way.
Wow. After both relationships ended due to the infidelity, deputies said that both women began cooperating with each other and with detectives. The Orlando fiance, told deputies that Brown, quote, had fooled her too, even taking her to the Orange City girlfriend's house while she was at work, claiming the house was his and asking her to move in with him.
What?
Deputies said that the woman told detectives that she packed up her apartment, disassembled her furniture, and was ready to move until one day he told her the deal had fallen through.
Yeah, I was going to say, what were you going to do once she says yes and commits to this? How do you back out of that? Well, clearly he found a way.
Right. But yeah, that's basically it. This guy, according, I think you said was like a felon, had a couple of charges.
Yeah, I'm sorry, hold on. Every now and then my left eye starts like burning and like it'll just keep tearing up and it's killing me right now.
But I'm sure it's fine. It'll go away.
You know. Wow.
No need to go to the doctor for it.
Shut up, Chris. Let me see here. I just wanted to see. Okay. Wow. So ironically, my cousin, you know I'm always talking about Uncle Harry.
Right.
His youngest son, Justin, he sent me this, I think, yesterday. Yeah, he sent this to me yesterday. It was like, do with this what you must. So I went to read it, and then when we came here to record today, I was like, oh, bet. Like, I can't wait to share this with Chris. Ironically, Chris beat me to the punch. He also found this story and had it ready. I do appreciate you looking out for a good Florida segment, though. That's always helpful.
Yeah.
I just can't believe he almost pulled this off.
I know. He was like this close.
I would have gotten away with it, too, if it weren't for you meddling fiancés. I just don't understand. Like, people cheat and they live double lives, whatever. But you're taking it to the extreme with both of these women at one point.
Right. And if modern technology has taught us anything, it's that cheating is ultimately harder now because people
There's too many ways to be resourceful and find out.
Facebook, taking photos, that kind of stuff. So it's like, just don't do it. You know, I mean, I heard somebody say one time, it's like, instead of just cheating, just tell the other person, hey, I've, found somebody else that I'm a lot more in love with than you. So unfortunately, you know what I mean? Like, don't just keep it going.
I'm not giving you the rose this week.
Exactly. Yeah. We're not saying that's like you're going to be a great person for doing that, but it's ethically better
than just misleading two people.
Yeah. And a polygamist?
Yeah, just be a polygamist.
Move to Utah. Yeah.
I was hoping to make you my wife as well as this other woman. I want the three of us to meet and maybe discuss it.
How do you feel about that?
If not, I might lose both of you, or maybe one of you stays.
Right.
But I just don't understand, like, what was the long game there? And then you have these fake names. Mm-hmm. How do you plan to get married?
Right, yeah.
With what marriage license?
I thought you said your name was Marcus.
Well, actually, funny story. My last name is Davis. But I thought it was Brown. No, it's Davis. So your name's not even close to... No, not at all. So I just don't understand what the end goal was here. He didn't think this out. I think he just got caught up fooling around with 2 ladies and then was like, I'm kind of stuck in the natural progression of things with both of them because I've been dating them for 5 years. But like, at some point you should have just hit the eject button.
Yeah. I don't know. That's just, I can't imagine ever being that cunning or manipulative to even carry something out like that. Like, it's just not in my constitution. I can't do it.
Do I consider myself maybe to be a good liar? Sure. Do I enjoy like actually lying to people about things that matter? No.
Right.
But to then keep up these lies for years, that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
I don't. Kudos to you, Mr. Brown, for almost getting away with it. Well, Chris, that brings us to the end of another episode of our favorite show, and it should be yours too. Let's just go over a couple things before we get out of here.
Yes.
Once again, social media. We have been very much active on Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
But also, Twitter is a thing. You see the sign once again. If you can see this, tweet us.
You have no excuse.
Tweet us. So, yeah, we're working on getting better with Twitter interaction, but also, a little surprise for you. We were talking earlier. We're coming to TikTok. We're gonna fully embrace.
Full disclosure, I'm letting you.
I get the reins on TikTok.
Take that over because I refuse.
Chris is like 45 at heart when it comes to TikTok. Only TikTok. I'm not doing that.
I'm not falling in the trap that other people.
Young kids.
Because people, they're like, oh, I just downloaded it as a joke and now I'm obsessed. I don't want to download it and then become obsessed.
I'm not gonna lie. There's some funny TikToks. I very rarely touch it, but when I do, I'll catch a couple things. I'm like, God, this is funny.
And I think my justification is, well, the funny ones will show up on Reddit eventually. And I'm on Reddit, so.
Yeah, and then with Instagram having stupid reels, all it really is people downloading TikToks and uploading them as a reel.
Yeah, so you're gonna like I already have it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
So we're working on TikTok. God, we need another counter for how many times I've said that. Seriously. Not like black people, but like like dark humor. And this was somebody black. So we're working on that. Instagram's been great. Working on Twitter, but we just really love your interaction. Commenting on our posts is big because we're not just there to laugh at. Please just tell us why you liked it. Or big shout out to my boy Jake. Jake asked about that segment where the guy named a shark after his wife.
Yeah.
He was like, how would one even go about naming a shark? What is the cost?
My favorite thing about that clip is your I named a shark after you, sweetie.
I named you a shark. And she's like,
yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm so appreciative. I could just imagine if I had named a shark after my girlfriend.
Right.
There would be zero enthusiasm there. She'd probably look at me like, why?
Well, I named these divorce papers after you, so.
On the contrary. Sign here. Because we need you out of here.
Right.
So anyway, yeah, we appreciate the interaction, so please keep that up. It does make it a little more entertaining for the two of us, I would say. Also, look out for TikTok.
Yeah.
That's a shout out to Jake as well. He said that would be a great idea.
No.
And, he gives me a reason, right? Also, merch.
Yes.
Yes. There's plenty of merch to be bought. We have the store. You can find that link basically everywhere that our show is.
Yeah.
Cups, T-shirts, onesies for your babies, hoodies, hats.
There's face masks.
Face masks, yeah. There's no excuse not to have those, so you might as well. Plenty of merch. It's reasonably priced. It's pretty good quality, too. So definitely invest in that. I feel like every time we mention merch, we should just randomly have a shirt. Like, I feel like I should be able to just be like, you can get one of these or one of these. Look under your seat right now. You get a shirt. Right. I feel like we need to work on that. Just pop up all the different types of merch. There you go. Just put the scroll behind us where you're just scrolling through what else there is. So please go get your merch. Help us out there. It's not like we get a whole bunch of money for it. It's really not money so much as it is like it's nice to just get our stuff out there.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of work and time put into it. So I'd like to see it be worthwhile. And then last but not least, ratings.
Yeah. and it's not that I want this to be like above everything else, but like it really does help. Like this is a way that you don't have to spend any money to really help us. And you know, you don't have to write anything if you don't want to, but definitely, you know, like a star review. I'm not going to be the person that's like, just leave a 5, you know, it's fine, because I don't believe in leaving a review that you don't wholeheartedly believe it. You know what I mean? Like every time like a DoorDash person is like, yeah, here's your food. You want to leave me a 5-star review? Anytime they say it, I'm like, no.
I'll give you a 3.
Right. Unless you really deserve it, then, you know, it's not like a tip
you
or whatever.
knocked on my door and handed me this bag.
Exactly. Right, like, what did you do? I think some of my fries are missing too.
Which is great. Yeah.
But yeah, leave us a star rating. Doesn't have to be 5, although we would like 5. Then also like writing a review is great because it gives us feedback of things that we either need to improve, or if you just, you know, let us know how much you enjoy it. So
yeah, for sure. I would appreciate it. And I know we posted about it. We said we kind of like leave it alone, but the voicemail is still an option. I wasn't
going to bring it up.
But I only brought it up because I know you wouldn't. But I'm just saying, voicemails are an option. Feel free.
Right. You can hear your voice on the show. We'll put you on the show.
Right. Because as of right now, that's really the only way. Clearly, there's not really much room to add anybody else in here. Yeah. So as of right now, that's the best way to get your voice on the show. Some of you have even reached out about being on the show. So if you really want to be on the show, leave a voicemail. That's that's your segue. Other than that, those are 3 things we wanted to touch on before we got out of here. But besides that, hope you enjoyed the episode. Can't wait for you to see some more bonus content, as well as another episode coming here soon. Have a great day. Tell somebody you love them.
Aww.
I love you, Chris.
Didn't even give me a chance.
I'm just staring directly in your eyes. I love you, man. I love you. And I love you. Better luck next time. Also, don't use the same last name, maybe. Don't steal people's engagements ring.
That's the real lesson here. It's not don't cheat. It's just be smarter.
Be smarter about your cheating. If you're going to cheat, be smart.
Take infidelity to the next level.
Nothing worse than a stupid cheater. Don't be sloppy about it if you're going to do it. Have some class.